Absolutely 100% positively true. You are stuck right now in the very beginning of what is our next episode of the Summer of Pittsburgh Tech Stories, powered by Comcast, making it happen so we can tell the 50 coolest, raddest, best stories that I think are just making Pittsburgh sing these days. And I'm really excited to have these two guys on the show. We have Tom Fry and Nate Rouse. Did I catch your name right there? Is it Rouse or Rouse?
Yeah, it's Rouse. Like
Rouse,
House
I got it
with
right
R.
the first time. I should have trusted myself. I'm just so glad to have you guys on. We were just kind of talking a little bit before I hit the record button on this. I think we have a great conversation to talk about today when it comes to all things around Pomeroy. You guys have some great services. I think I was kind of mentioning earlier on, I feel like you might be the fifth Beatle of pretty much people's IT departments. Like you make IT to where it's like a light switch. You flick it on and like, the bass just starts playing. You just know someone's back there doing the business. Simple as that. So
I have my bass guitar right there.
Wait,
too.
see, I'm picking up on something here, Nate. How did I know that? Very cool. Very cool. I think we got a good vibe going on here. So let's keep that rolling. Let's do some introductions. So Nate, let's start off with you real fast. You're on the ground here in Pittsburgh when it comes to all things Pomeroy. What do you do with Pomeroy?
Yeah, so my official title is called a client service manager.
Okay.
And I have oversight of an awesome team of technicians, level 1, 2, and 3. You start from the service desk where the service begins, the heartbeat of every company,
Okay.
over to desktop support, up to managed print, network operations, you name it, all things technology. I support it for our companies that we support here in.
Yeah. I love it, man. So you're a busy dude, simple as that. And I have a feeling your life only got busier as all this whole COVID stuff crept down on us. So it's just like,
yeah. So when you talk about a success story, we successfully sent home well over 18,000
oh my God,
employees
oh,
home with work from home setups.
Wow.
And for those that we, didn't go into their homes, we shipped it and held conference calls with them, helping them install it, walking them step by step. So it'll be fully comprehensive.
See, you're using your own services to help yourselves out. You're still working. You're your own best customer. Excellent. And Tom, what are you up to these days? What's your role at Pomeroy?
Yeah, so no, thanks, Jonathan. We're so pleased to be here, and hearing when the new Summer of Pittsburgh Tech Stories with Comcast is just great. So we're really excited. Huge support of the Tech Council. So I'm the account director here in Western Pennsylvania, and I kind of oversee. Actually, Nate I work for Nate, right? So let's call a spade a spade. I work for Nate. He's the man. So I handle paperwork in the background. So my job as an account director is to be kind of that liaison to the company and make sure people know who Pomeroy is and what we do. From a soup to nuts kind of scenario.
Absolutely. And so, I kind of alluded that you guys are basically the fifth Beatle of people's IT department. Give us the real kind of elevator pitch as to what Pomeroy is all about these days. And I want to jump in and talk to Nate about some of the cool services you have. We were talking earlier about these freaking tech cafes, and I was hoping there'd be some extra foam to go with that. So we'll talk about that.
You have to say it with your pinky up.
You're exactly right.
So it's when you think of the value on investment, VOI, there's no real cost savings when you talk about a cafe, but it's all about the customer experience, the opportunity to come, take your technology, sit in front of a technician and say, hey, something's wrong with it. We'll diagnose it. We'll attempt to repair it right then and there. And we'll tell you, hey, go have lunch, go have a snack, and come on back in 15 minutes and your device.
I like the sounds of this. You're making it sound almost relaxing to get my IT stuff fixed.
That's the idea.
And honestly, normally I'm pretty much tensed up and being like, fix it now, and it never gets fixed. So that's excellent.
We make it super simple. Just bring your device while you're on your way to lunch, or if you're on break, just drop it by and we'll repair it. Or if you, so here it's a segue into the intelligent vending. If you need a peripheral, we have that standing right next to the cafe.
Oh, really? So if you're completely out of luck and you need a new one, it's there ready to go. I like that. And what's your footprint in Pittsburgh and like southwestern Pennsylvania? I'm assuming you're working with a lot of cool clients and stuff like that.
Yeah, we work with a lot of the folks downtown with big names on the buildings, and we have, like I said, around 250 people in Western Pennsylvania. And those companies that we work with are also servicing disparate workplaces. So they might have a satellite in Kentucky, a satellite in California, a satellite in Omaha, Nebraska, all around, even around the globe internationally. So we service them all around, but they follow the same standards. We really try to be the choke point. So we set a standard here with that organization. And whatever they tell us, however they want us to work with them, we make sure that we repeat that service all over the country or all over the world for them.
Makes sense. Now, we were talking before, obviously Nate was talking about how you guys deployed 18,000 people to go virtual. And I know you helped all your other clients to go virtual as well too. And now it's kind of like the inverse. People are starting to now go back to work. And can you talk a little bit about some of those services that you're providing? Because all of a sudden it's like, oh my God, like we'll still be working from home a little bit, but we will be going back to the office. And now there's a whole list of crazy things you got to be thinking about, and you're helping people out with that.
Yeah. So when you think about it, you talk about the safety.
Yeah.
You're concerned about sterilization and having a sterilization process, not just having when they come into the environment a safe place for them to dock, but to have that repeated. So when they go home, they're not recontaminating and then bringing it back into the environment. So having that sterilization process set up. Okay. So we do that. We do have that.
Never even thought about that, but yeah, that makes total sense.
Yeah. And so Tom can talk about some of the technology that we offer too, with the temperature checking, facial recognition, temperature checking, just that added assurance that as you walk through the door, we make sure you don't have a fever that you might not even be aware of.
Right. Are you going to have oximeters at the cafes pretty soon?
Yeah, little oxygen saturation checks, right? So no, that's great. Yeah, no, and my background's healthcare, so I'm really keen on the healthcare kind of side of it. So we've actually found a product that we're offering now to do a quick 2-second check of your temperature. It does a temperature check for your face, and it's all standalone. You don't have to touch it. Nobody has to point an infrared gun at you and then log it in.
The gun pointed at me. It makes me feel welcome when I walk into a building. You know?
Yeah, you're all these masked up in hazmat suits, right? Yeah, no, it's really nice. And I've had one client's already ordered these. They bought 20 of these to put in all their satellites across the country again, out of our warehouse. We configure them, we send them out, they plug them and play them, and then that controls the door too. So if your temperature is high, it won't open the door. So if you have unattended areas where people are just walking in, the employee entrance, you can do all that in a remote fashion very quickly. So it's not a whole lot of extra work for the employees. And it's not real threatening either. It's just walk up, it says, "Hey, Tom, your temperature's good. Go on in the door."
Or it says, "Hey, Tom, you're screwed. Get the hell out of here."
Yeah. Then I get the day off. That's a good thing too, right? So that might be coffee.
Absolutely. And so these are just such key things, because people need this to feel safe and be confident that as we get back, that like we know that it's a safe place to be, and it relies on technology like this and folks to implement it and make it available, which is why I'm so glad we're talking to you guys today, because this is
Nate mentioned the vending machines, and we've now put ultraviolet lights inside of those, so when they're loaded with, like, say, spare mice and battery backups and power bricks that you may have forgotten, you can just go up and vend it. But there's also sterilization within those vending machines now.
Oh wow! Yeah. You added UV stuff inside the vending machine.
Yes, exactly.
Wow. See, you have your bases covered here. I like that. you got some great services and tech to get people back to work. You have these awesome tech cafes, which I think is just I've heard of these things. I'm kind of jealous of the folks that have access to them, because how cool is that when your device is down, you can just get another one. Actually, case in point, I'm working from home. My mouse went haywire this morning. And I was like, oh my God, I got to buy a new mouse. I could have gone to a cafe and picked one.
Flash your badge.
That phone. So
flash your badge, and the mouse would have dispensed.
It would have been covered and bathed in ultraviolet lights. There'd be no germs on it. I'd put mine later. Exactly.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Oh my goodness. So let's talk about, I guess we've talked about some other things we want to get in front of you guys, is around some soft skills training, because I think this is very unique in your industry. Can we expand on that a little bit? Because at the end of the day, it's the people that make this happen, and without the right skills, it's not going to work.
If I could start it off with a quote that we often do the training with, it's called "When it matters the most, we are the worst monitors of our emotions." So
I
what
agree.
we do, and so when we're in this industry, from the service desk to that side, you're talking with people who have legitimate issues. Tempers flare. When you're a desktop technician, you have a person physically in front of you who is not happy. They're unproductive at that moment.
Exactly.
So how do you maintain productive? How do you stay in control when you have such a conflicting environment, whether it's on the phone or in person? So we really invest in our team members in helping them with emotional control, emotional intelligence, and just conflict resolution, how to remain productive
Interesting.
even when they're in those very critical moments.
Okay. Is that a service that's become more popular in the past couple of years, I would assume? Because I know we're hearing a lot more of this in the office space these days, having that emotional intelligence and bringing the whole human to the office and really valuing culture and people interacting and so forth.
It's pivotal. It's pivotal because at that moment, it's a term that we use. It's called reptile brain. At
Okay.
that moment, you are the most illogical person on the planet when you're angry and upset and frustrated. You can't think that, oh, well, they really have an issue. They need my help. So let me help calm them down so that I can give them the help that they need. And sometimes it's difficult when you start feeling threatened, or you start feeling anxious,
Right.
about the tone in the call. And so to be able to gauge that and control that as an individual, it only brings success at the end for both
Very,
you and the customer, because it's
Right.
all about the
absolutely.
customer.
Exactly. Oh, absolutely. And so is there like a sweet spot of a customer that you currently have? Is there a size you guys slot in well? I mean, I'm assuming you kind of cut across a range as to who uses your services.
We do know, thanks. Yeah, we're roughly 2,500 or more employees is really kind of a sweet spot for us. We've got, beyond that, we've got up to 30, 40,000 employees in an
Wow.
organization.
That's a lot
Uh,
of cafes with mice in them right
it's a lot of cafes.
Literally, yeah.
What it is a lot of people in the field, right, too. So we do a lot of field support where you have a disparate workforce. It's all spread around, especially now more so than ever with this COVID, right? I have a whole imaging and logistics center down in Kentucky, and all they're doing is shipping supplies overnight to people and refreshing their computers remotely. But
Huh.
we do a lot of remote deployment services for
Okay.
stores and organizations. So
Yeah.
we'll take a whole store, put it together in our warehouse, shrink it, send it out, and add water, and it expands, right?
That's simple.
Yeah, very carefully.
Literally.
Be careful how much water you put on the computer gear. But anyway, and we do a lot of that where the organizations want to focus on what they do best, right? So our organizations, maybe they're a healthcare organization, or they're an insurer, or they're a retailer, and we want to let them focus on what they do best, not refreshing computers, fixing somebody's broken laptop screen because they were going down the escalator and it dropped, right? Let us do that. Let us fix and put batteries in the mice for your people and make sure the cables are all plugged in on your video conferencing units. We'll do that. So when you get to work, you just do your work and help the organization focus on their core functions.
I like it. I like it. That is cool. So how do you see things changing? I don't think we can call it a post-COVID economy. I feel like we're still in the COVID economy, because until there's a vaccine, we're going to be living in this kind of new world. So I see like a lot of more remote services I think are going to be needed. What else are you guys seeing out there that you think is going to start growing in terms of services and needs from Pomeroy?
Yeah, I think the field services are really big, right? So we have a lot of people running around in the field that are equipped with high-tech tools to be able to do work remotely, make sure employees are up and functioning well, all while taking in fact that somebody may not want you in their house because you're a remote employee. So we can do those via our service desk, where they can provide telephone support to more people, or more proactive analytics. We can put tools on people's computers so that they can fix problems before they even happen, right? Use more of that artificial intelligence, that machine learning, the chatbots, where we deploy a chatbot in an organization, and they, like, instead of having to have somebody come out to their home, they can just do it through a chat session.
Absolutely. That makes so much sense. So the big thing, the whole reason why we are doing our summer of stories here is because we're trying to raise money for Beyond the Laptops. And we, as early on in the COVID crisis, we learned that there were just so many students in Pittsburgh public schools, and actually schools everywhere, that do not have access to the right technology so they can learn from home. It's like, it just completely like blew our brains as to how awful this was. And so we're trying to do everything we can to bridge that divide. I'd love to ask you guys, what could we all be doing? What could companies be doing, people be doing, and a way to start building a little more equity here and making sure that everyone has access to the internet, everyone has access to a good solid device and can connect.
Right, so companies buy computers for their employees to use, and we actually do this. We do a life cycle. They buy them, we take care of them for 3 years, and then they return them, and they sell them off. Okay. A lot of our companies have chosen to go ahead and broker and give those to like a organization, right? We clean them, we wipe them, take all the data off that could ever be done. We do a DoD level, Department of Defense level wipe on them, so there's no data on them. And we're able, for our clients, we're able to take those, package them up, and hand them off to a donation, a charity of their choosing. So that's one thing that we love to do, because we don't want to see things going in landfill. We'd rather go to use. And these are great places where companies can take their old assets, do that secure wipe, and then get them to an organization such as Pittsburgh Public Schools or whoever might be, still a very current device, just may be expired on the lease. 3 years is a lease time normally, 3 to 4 years, but they're not bad. They're still good. I mean, I've got computers on my desk that are 3 to 5 years and not maybe older, but that's a great way for companies, rather than sending stuff off to the dump or selling it, take that and give it to a charity and an organization. I think that's a great way.
I like it. Absolutely. Nate, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, and Tom just really hit it when you talk about the ability to offer services. When you think of training, you can do some online training, job skill training during this time, because there's a lot of companies that are just going total virtual, and to offer virtual training on technology skills. A service desk, that's a job that does not require interaction, face-to-face interaction. You can do online training, stand-up service desk, and just be a feeder into that introduction into the IT field.
Very cool. I can't thank you guys enough for taking the time out of your day to be part of our 50 stories this summer. I think it's so great to be able to highlight what you guys are up to. You guys bring the energy that I love. It was a ball talking to you guys, and I'm so glad that Comcast is helping us get these stories out. And I just wish you guys the best of luck the rest of the summer, and just keep doing all the great work that you're doing.
You too, Jonathan. We appreciate all the tech council's doing and everything. It's just been great. So keep up the great work. We're proud supporters and glad to be part of the organization.
Thank you, Jonathan, for having us.
Absolutely.